Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Today what I wanted to do is talk to you about my craft room and talk about how I set up my craft room for less than $500. Quickly, before we get into looking at some video clips and images of what I have in my craft room, I just want to talk about why I'm doing this video. I don't have the most beautiful or the most aesthetically pleasing craft room in the world. I just don't. But I go on YouTube and I see everybody showing their craft rooms, and they're all filled with these beautiful shelves and a ton of great equipment, and it looks really expensive. They have entire basements retrofitted to build a craft room. And for a long time, that would intimidate me from even trying to set up my own craft room, because I thought I didn't have the space, the resources, the time, the manpower, or anything to set up anything that looks like that. And then after a while, I just said, forget about it. I'm just going to use what I have and use that to set up a crafting space for me based on my budget. Now, that being said, just about everything in this craft room I had to buy. I didn't start from scratch. So this isn't clickbait. This isn't like I set up a craft room for less than $500 and then I only bought one thing. No, I had to buy shelves, chairs, desks, all of that. And I was able to do it for less than $500. And like I said, is it going to be the prettiest, best looking craft room that you've ever seen? No, but it works for my needs. And I think these are just some low cost options for those of us who are interested in setting up a craft room, and you may not be ready or able to make a huge investment. So that's why I wanted to kind of pull back the curtains and show you some images of my craft room and how I put it together for less than $500. Maybe you'll get some ideas. So let's first start by talking about my shelving system. I will say, when you're first starting out or starting to plan your craft room, figuring out your shelving system is going to be a big deal. Because, you need shelves to store things. That's kind of the whole point. So, for me, what I had to do was think about my situation, my budget, my resources, but most importantly, my manpower. Because I didn't have anybody that could assemble complex bookshelves and storage cabinets, and I didn't want to get into that. So I looked for shelving that I could put together by myself with no tools. And this is what I found. So these white shelves from Walmart cost me about $25 per shelf. Now, I did get them on sale, but it wasn't a really deep sale. I think regular price, they may be around $30. So I ended up paying about $110 for 4 shelves. Are they the sturdiest shelves ever? No. But do they serve my needs? Yes. You just have to be careful when you put things on them, because you don't want to put 200 pounds of materials and supplies on a shelf, especially the top shelf, because it'll start to kind of buckle. But for a beginner craft room, it worked perfectly. And there are some other affordable options if you want something even a little bit more sturdy. I was looking into flip shelves, and I decided against that just because they didn't have the right color, because they're metal. And I love those. You just take them out the box, flip them open, and you have a beautiful shelf. But they are metal, and so I couldn't find any that were white, and they were much more expensive. They weren't probably as expensive as what you may see in other people's craft rooms, but they're more expensive than these. But anyway, these shelves cost me about $110. Now, on these shelves, I have my sticker books in plastic bins. I got these plastic bins from Amazon, a set of 12, and I believe I paid $30 for the set of 12. I also have a few random plastic bins that I've bought from Pop Shelf, Target, and the Dollar Tree. I spent about $10 extra on some random plastic shelving. So that total comes up to $40 on my plastic bins. Now, what I will say about this is get creative, think outside the box, look, and look again. Look 3 times to get a good deal on these plastic bins. Plastic bins, acrylic bins, whatever you want, whatever you're looking for, they can be quite expensive. So I spent probably 20 minutes looking on Amazon until I found a pack that was the correct size that I wanted and had enough to drive the per piece item down. I didn't want to spend more than $3 per bin. So I think this came out to be somewhere between $2.50 and $2.70 per bin. And once I found my price, I was good to go. So these actually are listed as refrigerator bins. So if you're contemplating setting up a starter craft room, just because you don't find the right size bin in the storage section or the bedroom section or the living room section, think outside the box. Look in the refrigerator bin section. You never know what you may find. I will say, if you buy some bins from the Dollar Tree, because sometimes they do have plastic bins, which are really cute and nice, make sure you buy enough, because the thing with the Dollar Tree is that they often don't carry enough to like have a whole set. So just make sure that you buy enough if you're going to get them from the Dollar Tree. But I got them from Amazon. So then the next type of bin that I have on these shelves are fabric bins. I got these from Amazon as well, and I got 6 for $20. So what I do here is, this is where I put a lot of my storage planners, planner supplies, office supply, overflow. I put them in storage bins because for my craft room, I like to put my items away. I don't like to see those items loose and about. So bins is what I decided to go with. Now, let me say to you, what I wanted to do was to get the Drona bins from IKEA, because they are a great deal. They're like $2.50 and they're extremely sturdy, and they were the perfect size. But I don't live anywhere near an IKEA. And I had 2 Drona bins, and I watched them for like 6 months to see if they would ever go on sale on their website and be available for delivery, and they never did. And so since I don't live close to an IKEA, I had to go with another option. And I looked on Amazon and I found a comparable option for about the same price. They came out, I think, to about $2.50, $3, something like that, for 6. And that's what I bought. And so right now I have a few that are mismatched because I have some from IKEA. I think I have 2 from IKEA. Eventually, this is something I will upgrade. I will upgrade them all to IKEA, but for now I spent $30 on or $20 on bins from Amazon, and then I spent $10 on just some Dollar Tree bins. That's what I spent for my shelving. So the next big area in my craft room needed to be my working space. So that's my desk and chairs. So I found 2 great desks on Amazon. One is a little bit larger than the other one. The larger one cost me $70, $75, I believe, and the smaller one cost me $50. So I spent about $130 on my on my desks. So I have really loved them. They have worked perfectly. Again, I don't have anybody in my life who can put desks together. I can put furniture together, but every time I do it, it's like lopsided. So I've just learned not to fool with that anymore. These are actually foldable desks, and they're desks. They're not like a foldable table, so to speak. But you just take them out the box, unfold the legs, and you are good to go. I love those. And like I said, both of them together cost me $130. The chairs, I got from Walmart. I got a set of 2 chairs for $97, and I love these. These are, I guess, what you call mid-modern or modern century, mid-century modern. I don't know. But again, I had to think outside of the box. I first started looking at office chairs, and one office chair was like $200 or $300. And so I decided to look in the dining area for chairs, and they were like a quarter or a half, like a half price or a quarter of the cost of an office chair. So I found a great deal and got these 2 for $97. And I love them. I put a pillow behind my back. I'm sitting in the chair as I'm filming this, and that helps with my ergonomics just a little bit. But I love these chairs. I think maybe regular price they may be $120, but I paid $100 for 2. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is some of the paper storage solutions, because you have the desks, you have the chairs, you have the shelves. Now you need little things to help you organize certain parts of your, craft or planning room. For me, I keep a lot of paper. I keep sticker paper, I keep transparent paper, I keep 3 or 4 different types of printer paper, I keep foiled paper, I keep all types of paper. So I bought 2 paper trays from the Hobby Lobby clearance. They were $5 each. One is a We Are Memory Keepers paper tray. I think both maybe We Are Memory Keeper paper trays. And I just got them on Hobby Lobby's deep clearance. They are working for now. They actually work really well. I just have too much paper to put in them, but they are working really well, and I really enjoy them. I also bought some magazine boxes, those like white magazine boxes. I think I got 2 packs of 2 maybe from Hobby Lobby's clearance, and I paid $5 for that. So for my paper holders, I really only spent $15 on my paper holders. So you can't beat that. Before I go on, what I want to say to you about sales, I'm trying, no, not trying, what I bought to go into my craft room, I often bought on sale, but I didn't buy on such a deep clearance that you can't buy on sale. For example, Hobby Lobby has their stationery clearance like 2 or 3 times a year. So you can definitely catch this stuff on sale almost, every, 4 to 6 months. You can also get paper trays, simple paper trays for less than $10 all day, every day. At Walmart, Amazon, whatever. So I'm not showing you things that I got for 20 cents and it really is supposed to be $20, because no, you can't replicate that. But a regular sale, yeah, I'll talk about that all day long. That's like the chairs from Walmart. Regular price was maybe $120. They were on sale for $100. They go on sale all the time. So none of these things I'm talking about were so deeply discounted that you can't go find your own version of these. I just wanted to say that. Okay, so let's go back to the total. Where are we? So for my shelves, including my bins, both plastic and fabric, I spent $180, I believe, in total. For my desk, I spent $130. For my chairs, I spent $100. And for my paper holder storage system, I spent $15. Now, decor. I do have some decorative pieces throughout. Nothing fancy. I actually need to get some more decorative pieces. That is on my list. I want some floor plants, but I don't have that right now. In total, I spent about $25 on decor. I really didn't buy that much. I just really put that total in here because I did buy a few things here or there on clearance. I bought a rug for like $7 from Ross, stuff like that. Not much at all. These photos I got from IKEA, these photos behind me, I got from IKEA on clearance. They were like $5 each. So I don't have a lot of decor as you can see from my pictures in my craft room, because I didn't have a lot of extra money to buy decor. Okay, so $25 for decor. That's it. That's how I set up my craft room. It doesn't take a lot. That's what I want you to take out of this video. You don't have to completely retrofit a garage or a basement. You don't have to tear down walls. You don't have to pay somebody to come in and install, you know, thousands of dollars worth of shelves to have a craft room. You don't. I built my craft room, or I set up my craft room in a spare bedroom upstairs. That's it. I wish it was downstairs, but, you know, I don't have a spare bedroom downstairs. The spare bedroom is upstairs. So that's what I did to build my craft room. And I just want to encourage you, if you are seeing these videos where people are doing these walkthroughs and you're like, oh my God, that's so beautiful, I can never have it. Yes, you can. You may need to start slow and build up, but you can have it. And if you can't have exactly that, that's okay. You can have something that works for you. Now, what I will say as an add-on, right? This is not necessary for your craft room, so I didn't include it in the cost. But I do have a few electronics in my craft room because I do film. So if you have a little bit of an extra budget, then you might want to consider adding some electronics. I do film on my cell phone, so I don't have any expensive camera equipment. I do have a couple of tripods and phone holders, some extension cords and outlets. Altogether, I spent about $40 on those things. I do have a TV in my craft room. That way I can plug up my phone and kind of monitor my videos as I'm recording. I bought it on sale at Walmart. It's just a 32-inch smart TV, and I use it primarily as a monitor. I paid $50 for that, guys. That's it. And you can get a $50 32-inch TV almost anytime at Walmart, almost every month. You just got to be willing to keep an eye out. You know, I just went into Walmart looking for something else. I saw the TV on sale, and I picked it up. I thought it would fit perfectly. Is it a wall-to-wall big screen TV? No, but I don't need that in my space. The only other thing, probably the most expensive piece of equipment that I have, is a Cricut Joy Xtra. I did splurge and spend $129 on that. And that's because I make a lot of stickers. You may not make a lot of your own stickers, so you don't need that. That's why these items are not included in the price, because these are kind of custom to me. But I just wanted to mention to you that I do have these items in my craft room. So I didn't buy them as I was setting up the craft room. I bought them at different times, so they kind of don't go into my craft room setup. But I just wanted to mention it to you because you will be buying things to go into your craft room. So anything that I talked about in this video, if I can find it, I will list it down below if you are interested. I just want to close this video by saying, for probably the 5th time in this video, don't let the craft room tour videos intimidate you. Do whatever you feel like you need to do to create a space where you can be creative in. Whether it's just a table in a room, or you can, you know, take a spare bedroom and put a desk in there and some shelves, or just a desk and a chair. It doesn't have to be fancy. Your craft room doesn't have to look like everybody else's craft room. It just has to work for you. And just don't get intimidated. You can do these things on a budget. 100% you can do these things on a budget. So I just encourage you to do that. I will also say, just in the interest of being transparent, if I had to do some things over, the only areas where I would probably make an upgrade is, it's not that many, to be honest with you. Probably getting a more robust paper storage system, because I do keep a lot of paper. And so that's a place in the future that I might upgrade. That honestly is probably it, other than keep adding decorative pieces just to kind of make it feel a little bit more homey. But that's about it, guys. I'm actually really pleased with everything I bought. I'll also say again, I had to buy this stuff from scratch. Now, definitely use whatever you already have in your house. I just didn't have any of it. So these totals I'm giving you, you know, this is starting from an empty room, basically. So like I said, this isn't kind of like, oh, I bought one thing and was under $500. No, I bought everything I needed to set up a functional crafting planning space. Now, of course, my planning supplies themselves are not included in that because I already had that stuff. They were just in bags or in boxes or something like that. Because that's why you would put together a crafting room, is to help you store stuff that you've been collecting. So I kind of had all those things, and I just spent time bringing all that stuff in, getting it organized, getting it set up, figuring out what I need and what I didn't need. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it inspires you, if you don't have a crafting space, to create a space of your own, even if it's just a little space. You can do it. It doesn't have to look like everybody else's. You don't have to spend $1,000 or thousands of dollars setting it up. You can create a space where you can be yourself and experiment and be creative and have fun. Thanks for watching. Happy planning.